Itachi killed his own clan. And even so, he may not be the villain of the story. Zay's in the house. Let's head into the nerdverse. Stop for a moment and take a deep breath. Now think with me. What you call reality, are you sure it really is reality? Each person lives trapped inside their own interpretation of the world, built from what they have suffered, what they have lost, and what they chose to believe. The truth is simple, and, at the same time, harsh. What is real to you may be nothing more than an illusion to someone else. And few stories make this as clear as that of Itachi Uchiha. Today we're not just going to talk about Naruto battles or impressive techniques. Today we're going to talk about awareness, loneliness, and the psychological weight of seeing too much. So leave a like now, because this video demands attention. Comment at the end, what do you think of each hero, villain, or victim? And share it with someone who also sees Naruto beyond the surface. Because understanding Itachi is understanding the cost of being lucid in a world where barbarism is everyday reality. Most people live inside comfortable narratives, stories that help them sleep at night, believing the world is fair, that good always wins, that difficult choices always have the right answers. But those who begin to question too much discover something dangerous. Awareness fails, perception deceives, and people lie sometimes to you, sometimes to themselves. Lucidity isolates, and Itachi learned this far too early. Since childhood, he was exposed to violence. He saw war before he even understood what childhood was. While other children grew up playing, he grew up watching bodhis on the battlefield, understanding that the ninja world was not built on justice, but on endless cycles of hatred. Psychologically, this shapes a hypervigilant individual, someone who observes everything, feels everything, and carries responsibilities that should never have been theirs. This kind of person almost always walks alone. Trust sounds beautiful. Everyone talks about trust as if it were the ultimate virtue, but almost no one talks about the other side of the coin. Trust, when misplaced, becomes a trap. People show convenient versions of themselves, masks for every situation. How many swear they're by your side until the first sign of darkness? The world is not made of cartoonish villains. It is made of absences, of people who disappear, of silences that arrive when you most need answers. Itachi understood this early on. Within the Uchiha clan, trust was already fractured. Wounded pride, accumulated resentment. The constant feeling of being marginalized by Itachi loved his family and respected its history, but he was not blind. He saw what others refused to see. Itachi was introspective, quiet, and deeply observant. He did not act on impulse because he was always analyzing the situation as a whole. This type of personality carries intense empathy, but also constant inner suffering. The more someone perceives the impact of their own actions, the harder it becomes to act. Itachi developed an exaggerated sense of responsibility, believing it was up to him to prevent greater tragedies, even if that meant destroying his own life in the process. Here lies the psychological core of the character, the belief that his pain does not matter as long as the world keeps functioning, and that belief is extremely dangerous. Shisui Uchiha appears as the exception more than a friend. He was a mere someone who shared the same vision, the same hope that dialogue was still possible, that the cycle of hatred could be broken without extreme violence. When Shisui dies, Itachi loses more than a friend. He loses the last emotional pillar, sustaining his faith in a peaceful solution. From that point on, only silence remains. And loneliness combined with power is an extremely unstable psychological ground. At this moment, the story stops being about right or wrong and becomes about minimizing damage. Imagine the decision placed in Itachi's hands. Either allow the clan to carry out a coup, starting a civil war that would destroy Konoha and kill thousands of innocents, including his younger brother, or eliminate his own clan to prevent an even greater tragedy. There is no fair choice here. There is only the choice that causes less large-scale destruction. Psychologically, this kind of dilemma generates deep trauma because it forces the individual to assume the role of something they despise in order to preserve what they love by carrying out the massacre. Itachi does not destroy only lives. He destroys his own identity. He accepts being seen as a villain, a traitor, a monster. This behavior is known as symbolic self-annihilation, when someone sacrifices their image, reputation, and humanity to uphold a greater cause. Itachi chooses to carry the world's hatred so that someone else does not have to. After the massacre, Itachi lives in emotional exile. He distances himself from any true bond, constantly places himself in danger, and lives under the shadow of his own guilt. Prolonged loneliness is one of the most destructive experiences for the human mind, but Itachi sees it as part of his penance. For him, suffering is not a consequence, it is an obligation. He believes that only through pain can he justify his choices. Loneliness ceases to be punishment and becomes mission. Many mistake this posture for coldness or strength, but what we see is someone who never learned to allow himself to be human. The relationship with Sasuke is the most tragic point of the entire story. Everything Itachi does revolves around his brother. Even when he is cruel, even when he traumatizes him, he believes he is protecting Sasuke. Psychologically, this reveals a profound mistake. Itachi confuses protection with emotional control. He believes hatred will keep Sasuke alive, strong and focused. But loving someone does not mean shaping their pain. The problem is that Itachi never had another model of love. He became a prisoner of his own strategy, believing he had to carry everything alone. Naruto emerges as a direct counterpoint. Unlike Itachi, Naruto also suffered, was also rejected, but chose not to carry the world alone. Naruto builds bonds, shares pain, insists on trusting. When Itachi realizes this, something changes. He understands that perhaps Sasuke does not need someone like him, but someone like Naruto. This realization does not erase his mistakes, nor undo the scars he left behind, but it offers a kind of late relief. For the first time, Itachi accepts that he did not need to walk alone. In the end, Itachi is neither hero nor villain. He is human. A human placed before impossible choices within a system that turns children into weapons and decisions into eternal sentences. His story is not just about massacre, but about the psychological cost of deciding when every path leads to loss. Perhaps Itachi's greatest tragedy is not what he did, but the fact that he never had the right to choose without paying with his own soul. If this analysis made sense to you, leave a like, comment on what Itachi represents to you, and share this video with someone who loves Naruto but never stopped to see this layer. Because sometimes the strongest character is not the one who wins battles, but the one who survives their own weight